Welcome to Curiosity Unlocked, the channel where we dive deep into fascinating what-if scenarios and uncover the hidden stories behind the biggest names in technology, science, and business. Imagine a world where Microsoft never existed. No Windows operating system, no Microsoft Office, no Xbox, no Azure cloud computing. Just think about how drastically different the world would be today. How would the tech industry have evolved? Who would have stepped in to fill the void? Or would the world have taken a completely different path? In this deep dive, we will explore Microsoft's journey from a small startup to a tech empire, the challenges it faced, the strategies that fueled its dominance, and most importantly, what would happen if it had never existed. Share your thoughts in the comments as we unravel one of the biggest what-if scenarios in technology history. Now, let's dive in. Chapter 1. The birth of Microsoft, a dream that changed the world. The 1970s marked the dawn of the personal computing revolution. At the time, computers were enormous, expensive, and accessible only to governments, corporations, and research institutions. But two young visionaries, Bill Gates and Paul Allen, saw a future where computing power would be available to everyone, not just a privileged few. In 1975, Microsoft was born in a small office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Their first major breakthrough came with a deal to develop software for the Altair 8800. One of the earliest personal computers. The software, Altair Basic, paved the way for Microsoft's future success. Now, let's pause for a moment and imagine, what if this never happened? Would another company have stepped in to make computing accessible to the masses? Or would personal computers have taken much longer to become mainstream? The ripple effects of this one moment could have changed the entire tech landscape. Chapter 2. The Early Challenges. Fighting against the giants. Like every startup, Microsoft faced its fair share of obstacles. Competition was fierce. IBM, Apple, and other companies had already established themselves in the computing industry. Microsoft, as a small software company, needed a way to stand out. One of the biggest hurdles was software piracy. Even in the early days, unauthorized copies of software were being shared, threatening Microsoft's business model. To counteract this, Microsoft focused on licensing deals and copyright protections, ensuring a steady revenue stream. Their defining moment came in 1980, when IBM approached them for an operating system. At that time, Microsoft did not even have an operating system of their own. But instead of saying no, they seized the opportunity. They acquired an existing OS, modified it, and licensed it to IBM. This became MS-DOS, the foundation on which Microsoft built its empire. If this deal had never happened, who would have taken the lead? Would IBM have developed its own operating system? Would Apple have risen as the dominant force in the industry? Or would the personal computing revolution have been delayed by decades? Chapter 3. The Rise of Windows. The operating system that took over. The real game changer came in 1985 with the release of Windows 1.0. Unlike the text-based MS-DOS, Windows introduced a graphical user interface, making computers more accessible to everyday users. But Windows wasn't the first graphical OS. Apple had already introduced the Macintosh with an innovative interface. Microsoft's key advantage was its business strategy. Instead of making its own computers, it licensed Windows to multiple manufacturers. This move led to Windows becoming the standard operating system worldwide, far surpassing Apple in market share. By the 1990s, Windows had become a global phenomenon. But what if Windows had never existed? Would we all be using Mac OS? Would Linux have become the standard OS? Or would the tech industry have developed fragmented, incompatible systems? Chapter 4. Microsoft Office. The Business Revolution. Beyond Windows, another key pillar of Microsoft's dominance was Microsoft Office. Word, Excel and PowerPoint became indispensable tools in businesses, schools, and homes worldwide. Before Microsoft Office, people relied on separate software for word processing, spreadsheets, and presentations. Microsoft unified them into one package, making productivity seamless. If Microsoft hadn't developed Office, would businesses have relied on alternative tools? Would Google Docs or OpenOffice have emerged much earlier? Or would business operations have been much less efficient for years to come? Chapter 5. The Internet Boom and Microsoft's Missteps. As the Internet revolution took off in the 1990s, Microsoft initially lagged behind. Netscape Navigator was the dominant web browser, but Microsoft quickly caught up, bundling Internet Explorer with Windows and making it the default choice for users worldwide. This move led to one of the most controversial antitrust cases in history. If Microsoft had not aggressively pushed into the Internet space, would we have seen an earlier rise of Google, Mozilla, or other tech giants? How different would the Internet landscape look today? Chapter 6. Microsoft's Adaptation and the Cloud Era. The 2000s brought new challenges. Google and Apple emerged as fierce competitors. The Windows Phone failed, and Microsoft was forced to rethink its strategy. Under the leadership of CEO Satya Nadella, the company shifted focus to cloud computing with Microsoft Azure, AI, and enterprise solutions. If Microsoft had never existed, would Amazon's AWS dominate cloud computing even more? Would companies have fewer choices in cloud services, leading to slower innovation in the industry? Chapter 7. Microsoft's Lasting Impact. Microsoft's influence goes beyond software and technology. Its absence would mean no Xbox, changing the gaming industry forever. No Microsoft Teams, altering the landscape of remote work tools. No LinkedIn, impacting professional networking and job searching. No Azure, reshaping cloud computing as we know it. Would another company have filled the gap? Or would the world be a very different place? Chapter 8. Business Lessons from Microsoft's Journey. Microsoft's story teaches us valuable lessons. Adaptability is key. From MS-DOS to cloud computing, Microsoft constantly evolved. Strategic partnerships matter. IBM's deal was a turning point for Microsoft. Creating an ecosystem ensures longevity. Windows, Office, and Azure built an interconnected tech empire. Innovation and resilience drive success. Despite setbacks, Microsoft always bounced back. If you're building a business, Microsoft's strategies can serve as an inspiration for long-term success. Conclusion: a world without Microsoft. What if? So, what if Microsoft never existed? Would we still have the same technological advancements? Would another company have stepped in? Or would the digital revolution have taken a completely different path? Now, it's your turn. What do you think the world would be like without Microsoft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Curiosity Unlocked. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the biggest what-if scenarios shaping our world. Until next time, keep unlocking curiosity.